Yeah.
personally prefer to just buy it.
Wait, why not like an AMD APU?
I know money is a factor for some people.
Well, I don't know. I just wanted to try something different. APUs are kind of. I just see a lot more use out of getting a dedicated video card. But with the new ones with the heterogeneous system architecture, I think that'd be kind of cool for things that didn't even have to do with gaming.
I'd like to stretch and get a 7850K, but it's just not going to be in my budget.
Well, you could always go down to Micro Center, even though you don't like Detroit. Wait, is
I'm
it
not
Detroit or
driving.
Atlanta?
I am not driving through Atlanta for anything, SLS. You know that.
What
Yeah,
about
I
it?
know.
I have no interest in being killed and eaten.
They were selling
What about the
8320s at
A8s?
Micro Center for $99.
I know,
That is crazy. I couldn't believe that.
but it
I
is
was
in-store
like,
pickup. And both of the micro centers in Georgia are more than 100 miles away one way,
Okay.
and I have to go through Atlanta to get to either of them.
Well, it
And
depends
like I said,
on
I'm not
like your
interested
gas
in that.
mileage. Like if you were like, I'm gonna go build a computer, and then
Well,
once
I
it
could
like,
take-
went out
I could take
and
my
you
mom's car,
pre-ordered everything.
But I can take my
I live
mom's
in
car,
New
but
York.
the issue still remains that I'd have to go through Atlanta.
That's.
I don't.
I'm
mind
sorry.
that.
I'm sorry.
So,
I have
like,
to say this, but I live in New York, so there are 3 Micro Centers in my vicinity. They're not exactly close by. One of them is about 57 miles away. The other one about 65.
Okay,
Yeah,
bro.
but it'd be a
So you
200
guys
mile
are
round
lucky.
trip for me.
I don't even
Yeah,
have
one
one
SLS
around
close.
200.
SLS, please go gargle a hand grenade. Just-
That was
you
aggressive.
you know my situation with Micro Center, and you know how much it pisses me off, so you have to mention
I
that there's one 57 miles away.
Hey, Pants, think of it this way. At least not as bad as the prices I get.
But you know what? At this point, I wish I could go to the Micro Center, but I'm broke. So
Wait, what's so good about Micro Center?
prices?
Their prices.
Especially
They can
CPU
you get
prices.
insane
CPU prices.
bundles. You can get like an i7 for $250.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking
yeah.
about doing that actually. They have 3770Ks for 250. Oh wow. I was thinking of doing a 4770K and a Z87 M-Power, SP probably, but I might just keep my my DS3H
What was
and get an
that?
S3770K.
That's nice to know.
Probably
The only
for
thing near me is a PC Direct,
Okay.
and they charge I think I saw
Oh,
a 4300 for $160.
Yeah, no.
SLS.
Wow,
Overclock.
yeah, wow. 97 and 470K for $250.
SLS, if you're on overclock, you might as well just go to 3770 and skip Haswell. Because Ivy will overclock better.
Yeah,
Or just
I
wait
would-
for
No, if
Bravo.
you're not. If you're
I'll get
not,
a K-Series chip.
so there's not really enough difference between Haswell and Ivy to warrant getting a Haswell if you're not overclocking.
Yeah.
Because you could just throw like a mild 4 gigahertz overclock on there, or anything really, or nothing, honestly.
Yeah, now I realize what's happening. This is actually downloading, not storing. Thank you for lying to me. Let's install Planetside.
Yeah, I got hit with that too.
Yeah. Someone mentioned they were having trouble with Origin. I heard someone ask.
Yeah, I was talking about how my Origin would not actually show the UI, but I had to reinstall it and it worked.
Oh, mine's working fine.
Is it me or who thinks this motherboard is just absolutely amazing?
Alright, so
Which-
Xeon, it's a
Wait,
super
what?
micro board, so, ready.
Oh,
Oh my
well,
God.
that's interesting.
That is a long frickin' board.
And you know what that fits in? The half
No.
stacker top compartment.
What?
So you can put
They
it in
made
and
this
fuel
just to
the
fit in the
server.
half stacker.
Hold on a sec. Hold on, house alarm.
No, I'm pretty sure it already existed, but
Yeah.
that
probably.
is unique. Can
But
you
if
find
they
a
made
They made the half stacker so you could put this in that.
lol?
Yeah. Wow. The
That's
half stacker 1915
interesting.
actually has some use that is beyond
Bloody neighbors.
putting
Looking
on top
ugly?
and bottom. Well, yeah. The problem with the half stacker, in my opinion, is that the the mini ITX partitions are way too long. But then I understand because that's to support long radiators and that sort of stuff. But as standalone mini ITX cases, no. You're better off buying like an Elite 130 or an Elite 120. I'd love to shrink my build down to mini ITX, but
How does it have to get that right?
I don't want to drop down to ITX, but I want to drop down to ATX. You know what I want to do, SLS. I want a 350D and a Griffin
Yeah.
I have a
352 Griffin
350, but I have a Gene.
Ah.
I
I
just
kind of
want
want
to
to make a
downsize
wooden
mine.
case.
2011, 1155, 1150.
I want to downsize my rig, but keep it looking almost the same.
You know what? They need to do an AM3 plus gene board.
Huh.
That's
I
the
wouldn't
thing with
bank
AMD.
on it.
My problem with AMD is that the motherboards are crap on the smaller size.
Well, for the AM3 stuff.
Well, yeah,
You can still find them on eBay
Yeah,
FM2
with
plus
like the
stuff is
better
great.
chipsets,
FM2
but
stuff's great.
you can't find anything for micro ATX.
Like, I've got an F2 A75 MHD2 back there, and it cost me $55, and it's actually a really nice board.
Really annoying. I can't find the 750.
Just gotta wait for my 750K to come back from RMA, and it'll be great.
Have you not heard back from them yet? Come on, it's been like
Oh, no,
2
no.
weeks.
I heard back from them, and they shipped the new car. They shipped a new chip.
Did
I
they
should be
tell you
getting
if
it. They approved it, so they're shipping a new chip, and it should be here within the next 2 days or 3 days, probably.
Speaking of shipping and stuff, my 760 for the win dual BIOS thingamajig should be here on Tuesday.
Excellent.
That is a massive fucking mountain.
Yeah. It's
What did they say about your 750K?
Looks
Did
cool.
they just
It's-
apologize about how terrible it is?
No, it's actually a more automated system, which is quite annoying.
Too bad they don't have warranty service like EVGA did. You might get like an APU back or something.
Yeah. It'd be nice for you to get an APU back, just because of that. Oh yeah, wait. Slick, do you know about that with Pants and his 660 Ti signature 2s?
Nope. What's going on?
Basically, I had the RMA one of my 62 660 Ti's, and they sent me back a 760 ACX 2 gig. But I was running SLI, so I called them up, and
Oh.
they have a no downgrade policy. So they sent me another 760.
Oh.
But it turns out it was a 4 gig dual BIOS for the Win version.
Oh my god.
So then I called them up again, and they said, "Oh, well, we'll just cross ship you another 4 gig one, and you can send us back a 2 gig one." So I get upgraded from two gig 660 Ti signature 2s to two 4 gig dual BIOS 760 ACXs
Oh my god.
for the equivalent of $48, which was just the shipping to get the stuff there and back. And it's just awesome.
Wow.
I love EVGA so much.
Now we
That's-
finally understand what before the win's supposed to mean.
Right, yeah, exactly. I've always liked
It's the
their
greatest
customer
thing,
service
too.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard the story of when I first dunked my board in mineral oil and then had a friend get called a UVGA?
Oh no,
No.
hadn't heard that.
Okay, so I was running an EVGA board, and I dunked the board in mineral oil, and this is first turn on, so I've been working for the last like 10 hours.
Yeah.
And this is first power button press, and it's at like 8 in the morning because I was an idiot and started building my computer super late.
Nice.
And nothing, like getting nothing at all. And I've tested. I see what I'm doing wrong in Planetside now. God damn it. I tested other components
Oh, no.
and different computers and stuff under mineral oil, but I was getting nothing. No boot, no attempt to post, nothing. So I call up EVGA because I'm like, what the hell else do I do at this point in time? And I'm like, can you help me? And tell him my situation, and I'm like, yeah, I just put your product under mineral oil. And the guy's like, what? I'm like, yeah, can you help me? And he's like, okay, no. And he's like, just don't worry about the warranty. He's like, play around with it, don't worry about the warranty, we got you, just try and make it work. And then I was like, okay, well, what do you recommend? And he's like, well, just reseat everything. I'm like, well, no shit. Okay, cool. Didn't think about that because I'm overly tired. So I just go and take everything out of the rig, put it back in, and it works fine. And apparently there's a note on my account, which I still have, that says, parts under mineral oil still covered by warranty.
That is amazing.
That's awesome.
So EVGA is kind of my bros because of that.
Yeah.
They
What
have
board was
completely blown my mind at this point. I I can't justify buying another NVIDIA non-EVGA card at this point. It's just, yeah, I fangirled really hard when that guy told me that.
I think I told SLS last night, or last night. Well, I don't know his time zone, whatever. About my friend who just upgraded to two 780 Ti's.
Yep. He had 560 Ti 2-1.
Yeah, and then he upgraded. He upgraded
your
system
Core 2
recently
quad
to
boards?
780 Ti with 30K or whatever it was, and he couldn't get it working, but he had an EVGA board, so he called them. He's like, yeah, EVGA graphics card board, nothing working and stuff. And after like an hour talking to them, the guy's like, okay, have you made sure it's plugged in and switched on? And he looks behind the table and he's like, oh.
Awesome.
So the fact that EVGA were like, yeah, we'll let it sit for an hour and just help you find troubleshooting.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
their support line is amazing.
I was talking to Gigabyte. I literally said I can't get the thing to post, and the guy's like, "Oh well, there's not much I can do because you're gonna have to send the board." I didn't even like say like have you made sure like you clear the CMOS or anything.
And you know what? At this point in time, I now regret buying a 770 gigabyte card.
Why? Because you're thinking, oh, I have to RMA, maybe they'll give me a 780.
Nah, it's just specifically because I love the ACX cooler and I love the reference cooler for the 770. But at the time, actually, the gigabyte card was the cheapest. It was only like 400
Yeah, I
bucks.
remember when that
Yeah,
was.
same with me. So got it.
I need to sleep my 780.
The thing I hate though is EVGA doesn't make everything that you need to build a computer with. They don't make CPUs, they don't make RAM. I mean, they
don't
have
make cases.
almost stuff. They make power supplies and motherboards but I want to EVGA everything so I can just have that
Do
warranty
they have a
always.
keyboard yet?
It burnt down in a house fire. Yeah, warranty
They
covered.
do have a mouse.
I know.
I have a
there's
story
mouse,
like
but I
that
just
for
wanted
ASUS. I had a buddy that had a like molten shard laptop after a house fire, apartment fire actually, and he got a warranty replacement for it.
Wow.
That was
yeah,
a
Did you hear
long
about
time
I
ago.
hate Asus. Yeah.
Did you
Asus,
hear
it
about
took
that
them-
guy who his neighbor was cleaning his gun or something and it went off and it went through the wall and destroyed this guy's computer, and AMD gave him, he had like an 8350 or something, and they gave him a 9590 and a new board and a new GPU and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was sick. That was on Reddit, I think, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I
As
remember
much
it
as-
being on Reddit and someone mentioned it somewhere. I think it was actually on the WAN show. I think you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Or
probably.
Yeah, I remember
Samsung
hearing about
did,
that.
like what
As
Samsung
much
did
as,
for Austin
like-
Evans as well.
What'd they do?
They gave
Right
him a Note 3, a Note 10.1 2014 edition, and a Galaxy Keyboard.
Wow.
Well, as much as Slick loves Asus, I still have hatred for them because it took them 3 months to RMA my tablet, and then
I
they
didn't,
still couldn't
I
do
didn't,
it.
I didn't
after,
say I
like,
love
3
them.
months.
I said I have a story that happened to someone else a long time ago.
Oh, I'm still pissed with Asus about my monitor. I bought a 22-inch, like, Asus, I think it's a VS229 anyways. It's a 22-inch IPS. And it's got 2 frozen pixels towards the center of the screen. And when I called in to see if I can get anything done about it, essentially it went like, I explained what happened, I explained how annoying it is and how it's close to the center of the screen. And the guy asked how many there were, and I said there were 2, and he's like, well, you're gonna have to deal with it. There's nothing we can do about it. Word for word. And he hung up pretty much.
Wow.
So Asus is on my shit list. Though
I know it's like a
I
games
still bought
company-
a Sabertooth board. I still bought a Sabertooth Z77. I'm glad it didn't break.
Yeah.
Got a 770 coming from them.
They're still on my.
Nice.
Yeah.
You see, I remember when I was building my my first rig originally. I had a Zalman Z11 Plus. Now, if anybody knows that case,
I know
basically
it.
big plasticky, kind of trying too hard. But the case, when I built up the entire rig, it was finished. i5 7850, a few other things, wouldn't turn on. So I thought, oh, that's a problem with the power supply. But it wasn't a problem with the power supply. Yeah, it's just the power supply in another rig. So then I thought, well, maybe it's a problem with the case. Yeah, the power button, not the case. So I got a knife and I bridged the 2 connections or the 2 pin headers on the motherboard. Turn it on, and it works. So I assumed it was a problem with the case. So what I was actually going to end up doing was later that day, because this is actually going to another day, because like Slick built the computer too late in the day.
The worst.
So I was actually going to go over to Micro Center and pick up an R4. I was actually going to buy a Fractal Design R4, but I ended up finding out that it was just a cable. Because what Zalman did was because the power button's mounted to the front panel, when you remove it, so you don't rip the cables by accident, they actually unplug the two cables. It's like a breakaway. And if I had never found that, I would have had a Fractal Design Define R4, which I wish I never found it, actually. The R4 is much less.
I wish what Cooler Master had that in on this Lancia, whatever it is,
The 550.
Yeah, that's silence one, which my friend had one, so we obviously cable managed the computer and everything. And he lifted the computer up from the front and the back, and the front panel ripped off and teared every connector off. So I was there for like an hour resoldering wires.
Well,
I had a similar situation with my 550D. This is my first mistake was not testing all the components in the outside the rig before putting it all together. This was my first computer, obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. So I got the computer all together, and I got it back into my room and on top of my desk and shit. And I got it plugged in and everything all hooked up, and I flicked the power switch and nothing happened.
Yeah.
I sat there for a minute, and I waited, and I waited, and I pressed it again one more time to make sure I'm not crazy, and nothing happened. So, in a frenzy, I freaking take it back out into the living room on the big table and tear the entire computer apart twice, trying to find what I missed, and I didn't see anything, and I started just freaking out, thinking, oh, the motherboard's dead, or this is dead, or this is dead, or this is dead. And it turns out that when I had put the optical drive in the top slot, it had basically pushed up against the front panel connector and pulled the connector off. And it's a really, really small space to get my hand up in there. But I finally realized that's what it was, and I figured out, and then I put the computer back together, and I very gently put the optical drive back in there, but I pulled the damn thing out anyway. The connector got pulled out again anyway. So here I am with the computer like balanced on its back left corner, on the head half inside the computer trying to plug that stupid cable in. Because it's like, it's basically twice the size of like the front panel connector, sort of. It's got those really small pins.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it was friggin' impossible. I ended up having to like conscript my mom to plug the shit in because my hand was too big. And basically, now my optical drive isn't in the top slot because every time I put it in the top slot, the cable gets pulled out, and it's, oh my god, it was hilarious. And I remember freaking out so bad.
My friend's optical drive was not causing a short, but the drivers was causing blue screens. I don't know how the hell that was working, but it was causing blue screens. So we took it out and hit it off the third story of off the roof of the house, like 3 stories up with a baseball bat. I've never seen optical drive fly as far as that. Like, I've like done a few things with optical drives, like slingshot them and stuff, but I've never seen one go fly that far. It literally went across 3 houses before and landed in their garden.
If you shoot one with a Mosin Nagant, they disappear.
Yes, I don't have a Mosin with me. I have a musket, but not a Mosin.
You know what happens to hard drives when you shoot it with a rifle?
Oh god.
It's like a frag grenade. The shit goes everywhere. It's awesome. I have a couple old IDE hard drives. Hey, I have the ammo. I might as well use it.
Yeah.
I have 3,200 rounds sitting in the closet with nothing being shot. What else am I supposed to do?
Well, the thing was,
there are not enough deer for how much ammo I have. Plus, I can't eat that much, and I'd rather just buy my stuff from Kroger like everyone else.
if you went like a couple years back, they had like surpluses of most of the guns, and you could pick one up for like $90, and ammo was like $5 for 20 rounds. It was crazy.
I got mine for 80, and you can still get from a site called Cheaper Than Dirt. You can get a 440 round surplus spam can for about 120 bucks.
Oh, that's the funniest thing is you have to go through this huge if you go to a gun shop and you try and buy one, you have to fill out all this paperwork. But if you go online and just straight up buy one, then you got a gun. It's like no big deal.
Oh, actually no, I can just straight up walk in and buy anything I want.